Hey, welcome back to Metro Grid. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's currently a pretty dreary Sunday afternoon, October 15th. Good luck and have fun. Thanks. You too. So, with the new restricted list, there's a couple really big cards on it, and one of the biggest ones I see having the most play is Magnum Opus as a way of being an economy engine. And I've been playing a bunch of that, and I wanted to try something else. So, this is a deck. It's an Exile Trashawk deck. Install things from heap, draw cards. That is running off of Aesop's Pawnshop instead. And there used to be the Trashawk combo I played back on the channel in the day where you run the heap breakers and you constantly reinstall them for cheap or for free while running, and then you can draw cards while Aesop's Pawnshopping them away. This is dang, unprotected asset. What could that be? It's fun. It's definitely like far from a competitive deck, that's for sure, but it's definitely fun. A lot of people say that you could just play Haley and have a better deck, and that might arguably be true. Once your engine is set up with Exile, it is really good, but you don't generally use his ability until late to the game. It's also an issue that you can't play Levy or Clone Chip. Things are really good for Aesop's decks, let alone Exile decks. So it's not great. We do have a Persia, which we could top deck. We have two of them, so top deck. No good. But we probably want to check what this is, because this is an austerity. We have to deal with it. It's probably just like a... What's it called? Maryland? Ah, Jeeves. Beans. We can't stop Fast Advance, so we might actually need to trash that. If they're running Restore, it comes back for only 3 credits. But at least in Netrunner, there's less friends, so trashing this doesn't feel terrible. It doesn't feel awful. And we might want to draw once to throw out these breakers, or we can actually just plug down an Astrolabe, which I think will get card draw, which is probably more important than getting full value with the Technical Writer. This deck also runs 2 consoles, which is really fun. With Pawnshop, that's generally not an issue. Once you get late game and all the servers are built, you can always pawn this to put down a bigger. Oh, I think that's the right call. And they're good to go. If we run this, they get to res things. If we top deck an indexing, I think we're in a really good spot. But I think we need to find a bit more economy. Ah, there she is. So I think we can just start slamming things down here. If we put down these, we don't actually threaten the clot because we're a couple credits short. But this is actually not a bad start. This might be a second Jeeves if they threw out the first one with such, like, they didn't really protect it. But like indexing right now would be sweet. We have 3 in our deck, and I've never been able to draw them at the right time. And there's the indexing gone. And 11 credits might not be much, but they res their stuff for relatively cheap. And they didn't res this. Could be a work crew, could be a Bioroid tracker, could be an Ash. There's a lot of good bioroids that they could be running. That's good, but only once we find the pawn shop. We also have the MU. We want to get our haas-bioroid down soon, but we need to go fast because this deck is generally a bit faster than it might look like it can be. We have all our heat breakers though. We might actually just want to throw all of them out. We get countered hard by Arc Lockdown, but that card doesn't seem that popular anymore. I think it's better to install this. We still are 1 credit worth short of threatening Clot. HB is still pretty good at fast advancing. They can fast advance 4/2s with either Jeeves, like that Jeeves is, or basically anything else. They're just clicking for 3 credits and installing a card, so it's not actually that big of a deal. And we just found our pawn shop, which is huge. Oh, they're playing Wampoa. Hate that card. Putting cards in the bottom of your deck if you can't shuffle the deck. We can't shuffle the corpse deck is such an issue. It's such an issue. Because it means largely they're out of the game. So if they just buried 2 agendas, which I imagine they did, they could have buried up to 6 points, which means that we're now playing against a corp with probably 14 agendas. And that sucks, because that's the things that we need to win the game, and that's a huge issue. We can trash this for 1 credit, which is not too bad. But like, I think Wampoa, anything that puts cards on the bottom of your deck while there are not enough shuffle abilities in the game is an issue. This card wouldn't be a problem if it was easy to shuffle R&D for either side. So we do actually luckily have a good turn now that we have everything set up. And we do have that sweet indexing, which again, with maybe 6 points, up to 6 points, could just be 4 points out of the game. The value of this gets so much worse. And they're playing Violet Level Clearance. Oh, so they're just playing that to get cards out of their hand, maybe? I don't know. That's a cool card. A lot of money. All right, so we can start pawning things. And we can actually go. We want to get our breakers in the bin. We want to get slightly more money. I don't think we need to pop this just yet. I think also we want to keep our Persia around because there's some good value. Well, with all our breakers, we can actually use this for just about anything. We might want to use this for another Sahasrara. So we paid 2 credits to get and install our programs for free, which is good. Well, now actually, maybe we want to keep both of these. think we can still draw. Mad Dash indexing, really good combo. Closes games way faster than you think. But when they have all these high trash cost cards, it might actually be good to keep 2 Parishas. We're running out of MU, which is the issue, so even getting a Deg Deer with this self-modifying code might not be the wrong play. If we get a Deg Deer, it's only 2 credits, and it lets us, it frees up a lot of MU, which is good. Yeah, it also reduces install costs. We're going to go for the Deg Deer. Shaper is a bit difficult to play. I'm not the best at it. We also have this ready to go, which is good. And we can throw out, I think we'll throw out our MK Ultra. That's generally the scariest kind of bioroid. Everything else you can kind of click through, and we're not going to be breaking Fairchild 3s anytime soon. We'll just click through them with our face. Let's draw one more time. Oh, that's good for Fairchild. So let's throw out this. Let's throw out this. We only have 1 barrier breaker, but we do have backups to the other ones. Hopefully we don't get arc locked down. If they're playing a more prison type deck, that might actually be a thing they're doing, but I don't know how they're going to do damage to us. All right, so we can face check this. If it's a bioroid, they'll res it. We can probably trash something for free. If it's a waroid, it's an issue because there's a trace. As much as we do have 1 link, it's not the best. I don't want to pawn any of these cards. They're generally pretty good. So let's see what kind of ice they have. If they pre-res the ice in R&D, we can now like plan our indexing instead of being surprised. Ooh, and that's a big girl. This we break for 8 credits with our Cyber Cipher, which is pretty good. But they spent the full 9 on that, which is great. Luckily, this just ends the run, and they're not going to get their bioroid free res. We can install Black Orchestra here to draw a card, and that's exactly what this deck does. So pay 2, install this. Host install program on here to save another credit, and we just drew a card, and now we can pawn that for 3 credits, and that's the engine. We can always run into this to gain like what, 3 credits and a card once per turn. Not terrible. That's good. That might be an agenda. I don't know what else they're protecting. That probably looks like they're scoring remote, so we want to get our dinosaurs down once we can, and then put a Cyber Cipher on it, and then run that. Yeah, actually, probably not the best use of that to put on Cyber Cipher because it's super limited. But at least they'll blow up the server for 1 time. Probably on R&D is better. 7 credits, they can still res a lot. We don't want to run first click. We also need to figure out what their restricted card is. A lot of times people just run Fairchild 3.0 in a bioroid deck. I think that makes a lot of sense. But it's not 100% the case. Not 100% the case. I don't want to install this unless we can install it for free, so I'll wait. I think we can put this down. We can just click for 2 credits, throw out the paperclip. We're a bit short on money. We could also pop this, but I get greedy with these. Yeah, we'll just throw that out so we can get it from the bin. And we're relatively set up. We have an engine now. We can face check into things, install things, draw things. And it looks like that's probably just a Vitruvius. 2 points on the board, puts them on 4 credits. Not too bad. This is a perfect time for an indexing. And indexing is what they're going to be getting. Oh, they have Jeeves, right. They should have over-advanced that. Instead, they went for lateral growth on R&D. Well, there's the indexing play, huh? So, we'll sell this. We can always reinstall it for free. With 2 MU, how many breakers are we going to need to turn? Because we can always install the next Sahasrara, but not that much value. Let's run HQ here. Running HQ is actually relatively bad. We probably should trash the Jeeves. I don't think running HQ is good because they want Poed, so the chance of them having agendas in hand is pretty bad. They did play Violet level. Oh, it's an Architect. Luckily, we can deal with that. So install MK Ultra. Do we want to host that one? Yeah, why not? And this is 3 to break. Not awful. Then we can sell this. And they also don't get a free res. Biotic in hand means fast advance. With 1 credit, we can actually probably indexing through this. The only really bad thing is if they have a Fairchild 1.0, which they can res and then res another card. But it looks like we're a pretty good spot to index. So we're going to go for it, and then we can mad dash some points at the top. So Fairchild 1 is the only thing that ruins us. Fuck! It's a Fairchild 1. So it's either 2 credits. And if we pass it, they can res this for free. That was the worst case scenario. This ice is good. Trashing cards, we don't want to do that. So we install Fairchild 1, we can install it for 1 credit, which breaks it for 3. But we're just not going to do it. We can also trash a Persia now. So now they can res a piece of ice for cheap. It's a Fairchild 2.0, so we're going to jack out. Because we can do that once they pass. We can still jack out. So that sucks. We probably want to put a Cyber Cipher on this remote now. And we got to keep going. Man, that was the worst case scenario, and we did call it. We can now trash the Jeeps for free, though, or for 1 credit, and that's the best thing about this. Because without the Jeeves, a lot of their things gets a lot worse. Okay. So we can always scavenge this for cash, which gets us a large boost of money. It gets us an extra 3 credits on a card, which I think is actually probably fine here. So yeah, we will do that. Scavenge doesn't get that much value. It's good with Cyber, but we have a couple more from them. I don't think this card's actually that amazing. But we can trash this. Now install one of these for free. Draws us a card, gains us 3 credits, gives us something to pawn. It's cool. It's cool. It's not amazing. It gives us more money because of these technical writers, and technical writers is the best thing we've got going now. So 2 more indexings in our deck. We can't really stop biotic labor besides a lot of HQ pressure. Our nanotech eventually breaks us for 2 credits, which is really good. I think we're in a fine spot, so we can pawn that. So a single access on HQ is actually really good because it draws us a card and keeps us going. We also, yeah, it costs us what, 3 credits? For single access, it's not terrible, but I don't think there's a lot of agendas in there. I think we might as well install the second Sahasra. So let's get a single. Installing Great Ultra, please. Break. Single access, we can pawn it, so it's actually kind of free and it just draws us a card. Preemptive action, more prison shit. So now these Jeevesers are gonna come back. We can take the money off of this. I don't think we need to. If they run best defense, we're gonna look really dumb. Just like proper dumb, but I think we'll just drop Find more indexings. This is a fine card. It gets us, actually not too much. It gets us the nanotech, which is only good on this once they have another preemptive action goes in. I think we just have the Cypher run R&D every turn. Jeeves, someone unseen. Great. Okay. So we're going to pawn this. 3 credits. And we're good to go. If we put our Cypher on here, if we don't scavenge it, this is going to be an issue. Definitely is going to be an issue. So I think we just need to find our cards. I think running HQ, we see 1. We only know 1 out of 4 in HQ, so there's some value running there for sure. It also draws us a card. And I think it's technically free. That's the second deck deer. That's really good. Because we have this, we will host. So we technically have 1 more counter on this and 1 fewer credits. That's a Vitruvius. That paid off. Good. Nice single axis. We still have the MU to be able to install another deck deer, which is good. You need to specify the counter, that's true. This gives us even more credits. If we put an SMC on the table, it might scare them for Claude as much as we don't have it. And I think we're just going to not be greedy and pop this, because losing 14 credits, probably not the worst actually, like probably not game losing as much as that generally sounds like game losing, but it would be bad. It would definitely not be good. Upgrade on R&D, could be an Ash, could be a Chrysium, and they're just violating up. So running HQ is huge now because they just drew a lot of cards and have no way to filter any of it, so it's just going to be nonsense in there. Self-modifying code honestly doesn't have that much it can grab. We're not playing David, and David would actually be good. This deck probably should be running David. So we can go ahead and pawn this because we know we're going to run HQ. So we'll run HQ. Install MK Ultra, thank you. Take 2. Break for 3. The nanotech still isn't cheaper than that. It's the same price. Biotic labor, okay. We're going to run HQ a couple times. Preemptive. So we haven't learned anything new yet. I think singles for 3 is probably okay. This deck probably could use just a bit of multi-access for HQ. Archive memories, okay, that's new. Even more like recursion nonsense. I guess I'll just put down the daily casts. We need to draw into our indexings. Unless this is a Chrysium, maybe we need to find out what this is. Now, an issue with this deck is that you could also run other things in this to increase the card draw, things like Reaver. We aren't doing that. Oh, we run this one first, 100%. Because eventually we'll run out of cards, and that's an issue. Like, there's a point where too much card draw is a thing, so that's a Ravana. So we can install Black Orchestra, which we're going to have to use. Or actually, we don't necessarily need to use it. So that's going to be 1, 2, and then we'll host it. Oh, sorry. So we're in. It's kind of expensive. Successful run, that's a Jeeves haas-bioroid, which we will have to trash here. This is likely an agenda that's going through. We can always just slam our Cyber Cipher onto this and get through this for 8 credits. We can also save a credit if we trash a card, which is not terrible. That's basically 3 credits actually, so that's not worth it. Yeah, not great. She's good. I think we want to find out what this is, because this likely is an agenda. We have scavenges to put this back onto HQ, onto R&D after. I think we can take the tempo hit of 8. It's 10. It'll put us on 2, but then we pop this. Yeah, this is fine. The thing is, if it's a trashable, we're going to look dumb. So we'll pop this first. These cards are worth keeping, most of them. CFC, alright. So they could have biotic that out. Well, they don't have the money, but that's good. It's technically not as good as the corporate sales team. Maybe burst money is better than drip econ, but there you go, the IPO. So they're okay. We kept them back. Now the server doesn't look as good. They can always put more ice on that, or, you know, just do just about anything to make it better. They can also just trash this, and so this doesn't get a lot of value. We'll pawn that. That's what our deck does. And we're doing well. We're doing all right. Like, our cards are barely keeping up with the economy we need. Single accesses, I don't feel great about. I think we can win with a single indexing a mad dash onto R&D. The scavenge would be good to put this into another remote once they've given up on this. Put this on R&D, because otherwise this server is actually relatively annoying. Relatively annoying. Not terrible. I think we want to draw a card and run anyways here. We can always run into this, install our Code Gate Breaker, and just draw a card. The question is whether we want to just go spend a bit more and get an access. This is 2 credits. This will be has to be 6 credits, so that's an 8 credit run for a single. Ugh. If this was an Ash, maybe they forgot, but they probably should have rezzed it for free when you ran the Ravana. Maybe they want to keep that a secret. So maybe that is a Chrysium. I don't know. We can trash it regardless for cheap. Actually, no, we can't trash Ash for cheap with these. Have we goofed that up? We haven't trashed upgrades yet, no. We want to get Beth down for sure. She's at the point where she's really good, especially if she gives you clicks against bioroids. That's awesome. And there's a lot of value in getting Dinosaurus up, because being able to pull in a big code gate saves us 3 credits on that. And I don't think they're going to spam any more servers. The issue is MU. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, MU is a big problem here. So we might as well start pawning these Parisias. We'll keep drawing. Ah, we shouldn't draw. We should always just run first. Oh, that actually is a reason not to do that. So this is our engine, right? So install Black Orchestra. Yes, please. Host. Free. Draws this card. Ah, oh, goofed. Sorry. So take that back. 1, 2, 3. And then just jack out, because this doesn't do anything. It actually just ends the run unless you do something. This is a good card. It represents money. It doesn't take up MU, but it's better to put that in the Beth. We just pawn this next turn. So we can have a click that's 3 credits and gain a card. It's like old Criminal, right? This is why you play Exile. You also get that 1/1 Sweet Link, which is better than Haley. Oh man, my face has been in the way of everything this whole time. Are you serious? God dang it. Okay, my face is down here now. We had some cards back there. I'll probably overlay them on top of my face in the video. So they click for 2 credits and they don't spend any money. We're gonna get 5 clicks, which makes it so much easier to run R&D. It's still really expensive, and we want to trash that upgrade, whatever that is, for sure. All right, they're committing to that remote, and that's actually okay. Now we can pawn that thing. That's actually really good. I don't think there's any reason to trash it unless they're bringing it back, which they are, and they just put on another remote, which is not great, because this is a really bad remote, or really good remote for us to like. They're stacking code gates, and we're definitely playing 2 more copies of Scavenge in this deck. It has Exile on it, right? Get a free card draw, which is good. Oh, I'm gonna pawn the daily casts. We can pawn this too. Oh, is it better to pawn that? Yeah, if we pawn this, we'll get a card draw. If we run a central server. So they didn't draw a lot running HQ. We know they have a biotic in there and they have a preemptive, or did they just play that? So maybe actually we only know a couple cards in there, so we can run HQ. It gets a card draw, it's free. So install MK Ultra, please. We have to host on here. We probably need another Dig Deer in this deck. Was I doing this wrong? Where it's clicking this twice when we were installing? Maybe we were making credits when we were running with MK Ultra. Maybe I was goofing it. Oh, that's a really good hit. All right, so Mad Dash is now useless. Entirely useless. That's not that bad. So we definitely want to trash this. So we can pawn that. We can keep it on the table just so we can scavenge it. That's better, but we want to find our scavenge. I think if we draw once, we'll install 2 cards, which is going to be our daily casts, and then our Harbinger, which gives us something to pawn. And the credits keep rolling in. The card draw, the passive card draw keeps coming in. And this is Exile. They're playing Ultraviolet. Again, running HQ now is super good. They haven't been using their ability that much. Like, I've been playing against a lot of Architects Tomorrow on this channel, and it's been they've been using their ability relatively well. I'm just gonna let this go. I'm gonna pawn the MK Ultra because we're gonna run HQ here. I think now they're gonna use their ability. So let's run first because of the Fairchild. We can always click through it. There's some value in that. Oh, Big Ichi. So let's think. Big Ichi. MK Ultra pays a lot of credits to go through this. I'm not worried about the trace. We can always pay 2 for the trace, so it'll probably be cheaper. We also pull Nanotech, which breaks us for 2. Nanotech breaks us to 3, 4, 5, 6. And MK Ultra breaks us for 6. So I think pulling a Nanotech is now the right time. I still will install MK Ultra. Will I? Yeah, I think so. But so this one, yeah. Oh, it's much more than 6. So we're going to go ahead and get the Nanotech before we draw it. So this is 3 strength, so it's 3, 4, 5. And now it's cheaper to break the trace. 6. They can get a cheap res. It's likely that we hit the one that cost 8. Maybe they res this one that cost 3, and it's like, okay, well, good for us. They're not even using it. What is this? We can break this one for 2, so we save a credit. Now, this server's not so good, because slamming in this to reinstall our MK Ultra is kind of expensive. It's a bit expensive. Biotic labor, okay. And our board is now getting really clumsy. I think we can sell some of the Parisias. Because ideally, the self-modifying code is now almost impossible to install now that we have something on the Dig Deer. Oh, we had another one of these. Forgot that. Forgot we had 2 of them. Okay, that's good. It's also really hard to get rid of this without wiping our board heavily. But we'll figure it out. We're generally smart. Maybe we need to put some memory diamonds in this deck so we have more card draw. If we draw, there's not a lot we can install. Oh, that's a perfect card. Man, you know how much more money we would have if we found this early in the game? We have 2 of these in our deck. This card's insane. How much credits it gives you. It makes every pawn 4. It makes every self-modifying code worth more, depending when you use them. But it's a lot, and we haven't found any of them. So 2 more indexing in the bottom 12. I think that's how we win. And 2 more scavenges. So there's a lot of really good cards that we can draw into. Self-modifying code now actually doesn't pull anything. I don't think there's any more programs. Maybe there's 1 or 2. All right. So there was a preemptive in there. Credit preemptive. Not a very tempo positive play, but it lets them put more nonsense back in their deck, so we have to deal with more of their crap. Archive Memories Jeeves. All right. So we're going to keep these Parisias. So we might want to actually clear up some MU here. If we clear this, we can install the SMC, but again, not a lot of value to that. This has very little value, so I think 100% we pawn this. But then, no, we want to keep that for scavenge. So I think we'll just pawn the Harbinger, which doesn't open up any MU. But it gives us 4 credits. And slides the whole board up, which gives me more face space. All right. Oh, also with the nanotech. Maybe we wanted to put the nanotech on the Dinosaurus. We can always scavenge it on there and then draw a card at the same time. But if we pawn this, we'll go down to 4 MU and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which isn't terrible. So we just have to, yeah, we can do that next turn. We'll pawn this and then we're good to go. Yeah, keep another saucer in hand. This is good. So we can run this server. We should have pawned this actually. We should have pawned this, yeah. So we can run this server. Oh no, that's actually an annoying face check. We can run this, draw a card, gain 3 credits. I think it's technically still credit positive. I think we just actually run this server like normally. Let's run R&D. So this is R&D. Install Black Orchestra. Yep, please. We have no MU, so we're gonna have to trash something. I think we're gonna trash the Cyber Cipher. Oh no, we can trash. Yeah, we'll install Black Orchestra. Let's figure this out. Okay, so MU is tough. We probably don't need 2 Persias. They're probably not worth enough. But if we pawn it, we get 4 credits. We know we're probably not going to need this. So we can host installed program. This costs now 2 credits. We'll just pay 2 for this. It's cheaper than breaking. They can get a cheap res if they have it. What about if this is a, what's it called, Will-O-Wisp? That'd be fun. All right, so this is now either 2 clicks and 3 or 6 clicks. Or 6 credits, sorry. We'll pay 6, money's good. As much as we might need money for Ash, but we'll just trash Ash. So card from deck first, that's a GFI. So they're not even running Fairchild 3, and more importantly, oh, it's Brian Stinson. We should have guessed that actually. Good game, because they are playing the clearances and he gets so much value. Thank you. Thanks for the game. That's fun. That is what this Exile deck does. Everything you do is pretty like credit positive, card draw positive. I actually think this probably wouldn't be better than Haley. It sets up faster. Ciao. It sets up faster, that's for sure. But this is like really fun. A lot of cards are moving a lot of like cool decisions on what you want to do to draw. Highly recommend you to test this out. There's a deck link in the list below. There's probably ways to make this better. I'd be interested to know what you think, just to show you what's left that we haven't drawn in our deck. So we had the 2 indexings. There's only 1 more indexing? Oh, we just drew 1. So we have indexing. This card's really good. Indexing Mad Dash is really good, as much as we didn't fire that. And all these cards are also really good draws. Like drawing the Scavenge is good. Double Console is really fun. Maybe we need 1 more MU in this deck. As bad it is to go over 45 cards, not having Levy and having Aesops in some ways gives you like a reason to run more cards, but you also need to find your Aesops early. And we were lucky enough to be able to do that. Anywho, thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned. We got more videos coming out of this channel. And also we stream Thursday, 8:45 Eastern. Hopefully you drop by. Ciao.